So last night was really fun. We had a great screening in Cambridge. Probably had about 30 students maybe there total last night. The students were fascinated to see us all there, and Kimmy and I got to answer a few really nice questions to help sort of give people a little bit more clarity on the message of the film and why we're there and what we're all trying to work towards. So it was really good. It went really well, and we finally made it to our Airbnb, this beautiful house. We're staying as a family together, the whole crew, and here we are next morning, get a cup of tea and coffee into us, and get ready to hit the road, get another screening, another day, another screening. 25 plus billion probiotics. Kale, milk thistle, ginkgo, grapeseed, dandelion root, flaxseed, strawberry, spinach, wheatgrass, holy basil, all the good stuff. Gotta stay healthy, you know?
So last time I saw you making a drink or something was in the film, pouring all that craziness inside those cups and stuff. Now you're making funky green drinks and stuff. What's it like? You know, what's it like being away from home with this group of people compared to like what it was being away with like in the film kind of thing?
Yeah, that's a really good question. It's a real blessing to be around people who are like lifting you up and want to see you do well and supporting you in every aspect. And I really now sort of have taken a 180-degree turn where I see the value in nourishing our bodies rather than inserting toxins into it. So I see really a lot of value in nourishing the physical body, the emotional body, and also the spiritual body. So the people that I'm with now definitely help uplift that and help encourage that and really nourish that as well. So it's an important way to really live a life full of abundance and a thriving, beautiful, healthy life, which I'm really grateful for.
I think it's definitely a privilege that I have this opportunity. That being said, I don't take it lightly, considering the fact that there are so many people in this world who deserve a voice and who have the same opinions that I do, who have probably even better things to say to some of the questions that we've been asked. I hope that my privilege doesn't blind me to some of the feelings and considerations that other people have. And I hope that I do people justice with the things that I'm saying. I don't want to mess that up.
Just getting ready for the big premiere, red carpet event at The View, Leicester Square. I think they've sold out 300 tickets, which is really exciting.
I mean, 2 years ago we were filming, and I could not have imagined that I would be here right now in London.
This is amazing. We're just super thrilled to see all these people here.
Thank you so much for coming out to our London premiere.
Our whole team have flown over in the last couple of days to do this special UK tour.
I thought the film was really powerful, really strong documentary.
The title is misleading, like it's liberation, but in fact it's showing you how toxic that liberation itself is.
Especially in the post-Me Too and Weinstein and Time's Up era, this needs to be discussed.
So here we are, Man Manchester. We've got an awesome screening. We're at Nexus Art Cafe. It's a really unique little quirky, cool little place where people are lounging out to watch the movie, and we've got a packed house. It's like everyone's crammed in. It's gonna be insane.
We're gonna have quite a lengthy time for Q&A. We really want to hear from you guys. So, who's gonna be first?
I just wanted to question this idea of love a little bit, because it was mentioned a few times in the film, and I think you also mentioned love as perhaps suggesting that love is if we have a loving relationship, then we might solve some of these problems of a lack of consent or coercion or violation. But we know from loads of stories and from social data, we know that sexual violation and assault and rape happens a lot in so-called seemingly loving relationships, and that love can even be used as a form of coercion, if you really love me, you do this kind of thing. So I guess I just wanted to question how you're using the idea of love, and maybe sort of ask you to think about that a little bit.
I would just, when talking about love, I'm speaking from my perspective and my point of view. So to make it more clear on where I'm coming from, the way that I understand love and the meaning that is behind that term is something bigger and greater and more powerful than just a relationship. It's something that is more of an action of unconditional giving, and it's not doing it to manipulate someone or coerce someone to do something for us, because that's coming from a place of lack of love.
Like Shay said, it's looking at somebody as what can I give to you, not what can I take? And the idea that Shay pointed to earlier about agency, what is it that you're interested in? Not what can I do to you, or what can I get you to go along with, but what would you like? And a sexuality that is governed by empathy and love is not gonna go out and rape somebody. And so when we talk about that, we're talking about it in that, it's not to put this pie in the sky idea of some old movie, like Roman Holiday. It's that's true love. That's not what we're talking about. We're talking about a way of governing one's sexuality that either is responsible and can bring life, or irresponsible and reckless and can bring destruction.
I look around the room and it's women here. And if we're talking about men needing to address their issues of entitlement, and take a look in the mirror and their own behaviours and how they might go about changing that, how do we get that message out to men, not just the women who are trying to stop it happening to them?
Such a great question. Thank you for that question.
It's a really good question, and it's a question that we as a group have discussed a lot, because with all the panels that we have been to, we see that there's predominantly women. And I think this puts a lot of effort on the men in this room, because you all have a certain level of privilege of getting other men to listen to you that not all women have. So even for you, maybe encouraging other men to listen to the stories of survivors and other women, because it's the voices of the oppressed that need to be heard, and you men are in a point of privilege right now to encourage other men to join this conversation, and you have a connection that us women probably would not have in that point.
I think that, the way that we're socialized as boys and men is to deny the experiences of women rather than to identify with the experiences of women. And this is something that is formed from a very young age. You don't cry, you don't show emotion, because why? Because those things, to cry, to show emotion, to be vulnerable, is to embody the experiences of a woman, which in the male peer culture, there could be nothing worse, right? And I mean, this is embedded in all kinds of vernacular that we use, from son of a bitch to mother effer to this to that to the other, to don't throw like a girl. It's embedded in the way that boys are socialized. And so it's that mindset that we have to break. So when Kimmy talks about privilege, it's this understanding and this acknowledgement that we as men have been have been birthed into a position of privilege, and if we want to change the world, like instead of perpetuating, this existence, then we're going to have to use that privilege to deconstruct these ways of thinking and being by having conversations like this and lots more things.
I'm so grateful for this tour because it's really pushed my boundaries out further and further. There's so many times that I've been challenged and I've had fears and I've been faced with all of these insecurities and anxieties, but ultimately that's really helped me grow into confidence and grow into the person I am now. It's blown my mind at how much has happened and how much I've changed.
This experience has impacted me in a way that it's made me more hopeful for future generations. Seeing students and even members of the community outside of these campuses coming and listening to what we have to say, I think is the most encouraging and uplifting thing.
I really enjoyed spending time with Kimmy on the tour. She has really good knowledge and a great message to share. She taught me so many incredibly valuable things about myself and about others, and I really wish her all the best for her journey.
I want the best for Shay. I hope that he takes this amazing platform that he's on and that he makes a positive impact with it. I hope that he encourages other men to make a change.
Now I feel inspired and motivated to take action and do what I can to assist other people to help them see a brighter future and see a brighter place, one that I've kind of walked into and I've been fortunate to be on the other side of.
Shay is somebody, and Kimmy is somebody who I have seen take personal responsibility for their own lives, both in terms of just their own personal world, but then how their life is contributing towards the world that they want to live in and the world that they want to leave behind. So I look at Shay and I look at Kimmy and I see two people who have inspired me to want to change and to become healthier and to love myself better and to become a more whole person. In many respects, making Liberated was, for me, a part of processing my own coming of age years, and also an endeavor to uncover this wealth of understanding the full scope of what it means to be human. And so I went on that journey through the making of this film.
When people see this documentary, I hope that it makes them ask themselves questions, what they see in society, what they're doing.
We're all human. We all deserve to be loved, and we all deserve to be free of these ideals that limit us, these ideals that dehumanize one another, that exploit one another. How can we free ourselves from living in this society that we created? We can't blame anyone. We have to take responsibility that we created this world. But now how can we change it?
We're in this really interesting cultural moment that begs the question, where do we go from here?
We have to have hope, and we have to be patient with those who are willing to make the change, but still continue to be impassioned and make sure that future generations still have this idea that objectifying women and oppressing women is not okay, and that it's not gonna fly in the future. We seriously need to heal, and it takes both of us to come together, men to realize what they did wrong, and women to again be willing to extend trust.
If we can work together to respect one another for who we are, then we can pave the way for the future and move towards this beautiful world that we envision, that we want to create, that is more loving, is more empathetic and compassionate.
When it comes to these issues of gender and sexuality, there's a lot of work to be done. But at a very core level, I think the key thing is that we just reclaim our humanity. We reclaim our identity. We reclaim our sexuality from all the lies and the deception and the delusion and the dehumanizing notion of these things that we have been sold in our culture today. And I want to be a part of that movement. I hope you're a part of that movement. I hope the people watching this video will be a part of that movement, because I believe that we are going to change the world.